It's full steam ahead. Stocks are charging. Blink and you could miss buying opportunities ahead of the April 2 deadline. That's the next tariff deadline. And that's what many are thinking. And stocks could potentially continue to rally up until then. Welcome to the Daily. My name is Jessica Remy, a market strategist here with Mumu. It's great to have your company this Tuesday, March the 25th. Well, we've seen the NASDAQ surge. It rallied up 2.2% overnight. Bitcoin's pumping as well. It's up 15% in 14 days, now back at 88,000 US dollars. But buying in stocks such as Tesla is really stepping up a notch, seeing the EV makers' shares jump a massive 12% in one day. That's what they moved overnight. Now, Tesla outstandingly now 27% in 10 days. And that's when their shares hit a 5-month low just 10 days ago. But importantly, Tesla has now gapped higher. If you're a technical trader, that's what you might see. But for those who don't know what I'm talking about, all I'm saying is their shares have made a technical move that suggests they could continue to move on up. Also, what is backing up this strong buying is strong volume. This basically is traders suggesting that Tesla's dark days could be over and we could see Tesla break higher and move higher. I'm keeping an eye on the next key level, the 200-day moving average. That's at $284.68, as we can see on the chart in front of us. For those that are tuning in on the podcast, we're basically showing a chart of Tesla and showing that their shares jumped 12% overnight. They're now at $278.39. But as I said, the next key level is a simple moving average, the 200-day moving average at $284.68. If we see Tesla jump above that, it's full steam ahead for Tesla. That would encourage a lot of technical buying. Now, Tesla, of course, is a part of the Magnificent Seven. That's what we call the biggest tech names that have got the most momentum and have had the most momentum over the last 3 years of this bull market. The Magnificent Seven is now up 6.1% from its low, and we're just showing a Magnificent Seven ETF, MAGS. For those that are listening in on the podcast, we're basically showing the Mag 7 ETF that is moving up. Now, what is also fueling this charge in the MAG 7 stocks is NVIDIA. Of course, the equal second biggest company in the world. They rose 3.2% overnight, mind you. They're up 15% in 10 days. That really shows you that investors are believing we could see some type of a V-shaped recovery. So why are stocks charging? Let's just pause on that because I know that some people are still a little bit skeptical about what's going on. So stocks are charging up even though Trump announced on Truth Social that he would tariff countries who buy oil from Venezuela. Now, that's basically a direct hit on China. China, the biggest customer of buying oil from Venezuela. Now, instead, why are investors buying the dip? Well, investors are purely focused on the hallmark moment for stocks that are continuing to move up off those March 11 lows. But the pin-up stocks such as Tesla and all of those in the NASDAQ 100, they're all closing up off their highs of the day with strong buying volumes behind it. Now, this basically suggests that investors really believe that the market bottom is behind us and that stocks could continue to rally on up ahead of the April 2 tariff deadline. So what do you consider now? Well, you do have to consider that there could be some hiccups ahead. Perhaps it's why the Noble investor is continuing to put buffers in their investment portfolios in case we experience market shocks. So what are they buying? Well, they're buying two things. They're buying into the US dollar, which is why the US dollar is continuing to push up. That said, the high US dollar is cooling some investors and pushing down the price of gold. But investors are also buffering their portfolios buying gold. And that's why gold, although it's only down 1.5% from its record all-time high, it's still looking compelling The gold price is now at $3,016 after making gains for 3 straight weeks. Basically, as the second safe haven, I also mentioned the US dollar. The fact that we do have gold trading above all of its key technical indicators suggests that buying is there in gold, and the narrative for gold remains in place despite a higher dollar. As we said yesterday, a pullback in gold might be taken as a buying opportunity for some, and perhaps that's why the South African company called Goldfields quickly lobbed a bid on the gold producer down under called Gold Road Resources. They put a $3.3 billion takeover offer on the company Gold Road Resources, saying that they would buy their shares for $3.05. But later, this gold producer, GOR, which is one of Australia's prized gold producers, they later rejected the offer. Now, what I found really telling was the fact that an executive said at the company that the takeover offer was extremely disappointing because it undervalued the company. That is perhaps an indication that there's more upside for gold. And as we said, the gold price is trading or thereabouts at record all-time high territory, just shy of $3,020 US. What else do you need to consider, and what is ahead to watch in markets? Well, let's think about what's happening in the US. New home sales data is about to be released, as well as durable goods and economic growth, as well as the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, PCE. So we're watching this bevy of data. Now, we're basically looking for growth signals in the economy that could potentially fuel the buy the dip momentum that we are seeing. So that's something for you to consider. Last but not least, what about Australia? Well, of course, tonight Australia's budget is handed down at 7:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow we get Aussie inflation data, and that's the last inflation print before the April 1 RBA meeting. So take focus. We are expecting inflation to be sticky, and perhaps that also means why you should consider adding defensive investments to your portfolio. Thank you very much for tuning into our podcast and also listening to our videos on YouTube. Leave questions, feedback, or comments in the section below. Have a great day. Stay safe. Happy trading.